What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Games Live right here on Twitch.tv or on YouTube at MVP Entertainment. I am joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin.
Hey!
Soapy, how you doing today? I know that everyone in the U.S. at least, I don't know how this affected people globally, but it seems like everyone's in a little bit of a hoopla today, Soapy, because there was something that went on in the political world last night that have kind of sent people into a little bit of a craze.
Yeah, just a little bit. We totally didn't see anything concerning there at all. Not at all.
No, I mean no mental health issues or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or no downplaying like actual serious issues or anything.
Yeah, like no one downplaying white supremacy or like just feeding fire to racial injustices around the world. Nothing like that sort. But
never.
Never. We wouldn't do that. I'm a beautiful president. But Soapy and I are back to talk games, and hey, we actually got some gaming news, Soapy. Like, today is a new day. We actually have stuff to talk about. There's things happening in the world. Hey, maybe today's a good one. Also, on my side of things, for lunch today, Soapy, do you want to hear what happened to me with lunch today? Of why It's a great day? So, I asked my mom, like, okay, what do you want me to go get for lunch? And she's been craving this pretzel burger from Wendy's. We've been seeing the commercials all
is
the
that
time.
The new pub burger?
Yeah, the pub burger. So I'm like, fine, I'll go get it. And I went to the Wendy's by our house. The drive-thru was packed. I couldn't get in. I'm like, fuck it. I'll drive the one a little bit further, actually by Dave's house, and I'll go get some delicious Wendy's. And I go in, I order, or I don't go in. I drive in the drive-thru. I drive up, I order, I come up to my food. I give them the card. Oh, can I have it back? I pulled it out too soon. I'm like, okay, here you go. It's not working. Then they try it a third time, and she's like, well, what do I do? And the guy behind her's like, I don't know, I'm not a manager. So they try my card again. The machines aren't working. And they're like, do you have cash on you? And I'm like, I've got another card that we could try. I'm like, all I've got is 3 cards on me. I have no cash. So you want to know what they ended up doing? Just gave me my food.
Oh.
I was prepared. The Frosty I had, I was prepared to give it back to them. Like, you know what, keep it. But they're like, nope, here you go. Just take the food. So I got what? It was about, now I'm fat, so remember that. About $33 in food, all for free.
Nice. Wendy's isn't cheap, so.
No, it's not. I got to eat. My mom got to eat. My dad got a burger that he got to take to work. So, hey, man, it was a win-win. And, like, when I called my mom to tell her, I'm like, hey, did you shit a horseshoe today? Because this shit usually never happens. So I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it a little bit. But, Soapy, we got a lot of gaming news. Before we get into everything, though, quick housekeeping as always. Number 1, join the Discord. Link down below if you're on YouTube. In Discord, !Discord, or in Twitch, I should say, !Discord is how you get into that. Great conversations happening each and every day. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you go ahead and do that. You can also support us by throwing us a sub on Twitch. And then we're always on Twitch Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. But we're also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment as well. So go like, follow, sub. All you got to do at both places. But Soapy, got a jam-packed show talking Spider-Man Remaster, Epic Apple, Cyberpunk 2077. But we're leading off the show. I mentioned it yesterday. This was going to be the lead for today. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War had their zombie reveal, and this is what Polygon has. I'm just going to read through it really quickly. So, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies will feature a story mode set in Die Machine. I hope I said that right. A graffiti-laden, boarded-up bunker with nods to Nacht der Untoten. Hope I'm saying that right.
Nacht der Untoten.
The German. I'm going to fuck up the German, let's be honest. The original Zombies map featured in Call of Duty World of War. Players will explore I'm just going to call it DM. Explore DM as a member of the CIA-backed group known as Requiem, which has a piqued interest in the rival Soviet-led group known as Omega Group. Intrigue and swarms of angry zombies will presumably follow. The new zombie mode will feature many of the gameplay elements players are familiar with: perks, pack-a-punch machines, and mystery boxes. This time, however, there will no longer be a limit to how many different perks one player can consume. So go ahead and crack open a six-pack, Treyarch says, if you have the points to do so. Black Ops Cold War will also feature field upgrades, which sounds similar to Modern Warfare abilities of the same name, that will offer offensive buffs to abilities that aid in evasion or healing and reviving. Equipment that can be found or crafted, like grenade launchers, sentry turrets, explosive bows, and helicopter gunners, and a chance to escape hairy situations via exfil, which will let you call in a helicopter rescue, but also dial zombie spawns up to 11, Treyarch says, and can earn squad rewards if you manage to survive. Treyarch said that playtime in zombie mode will also contribute to Black Ops Cold War's Battle Pass, and that players can bring their gunsmith crafted weapons of choice into the mode. Better still, zombies will have cross-generation, cross-platform play, meaning a squad will be easy to put together. So, Soapy, that means not only can you, Dave, and I play Warzone together in Cold War, we can also dip into some zombies and play some zombies together, too.
Oh, you guys think you old guys can hang with a younger man like me?
I think I can hang with a younger man like you, but Soapy, you are, I will say, out of all of us, you are probably the resident zombie guy. The way I've heard you talk, it sounds like zombie mode is your jam. This is the one that you gravitate to. What are your thoughts on everything that you're hearing today about the zombie mode for Cold War?
I have not been excited for zombies in like quite some time.
Yeah.
To where like it's always just been kind of like, like it's just going to be new zombies, new map.
Mm-hmm.
This actually just made me happy. Because one, I'm saying that trailer's cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it right now, and I stand by it. I know most of that's going to be cinematic,
Mm-hmm.
where they show the people walking through the hallways.
Yeah.
Like with the lights off and everything. I'm like, okay, I know it's not how the game's going to actually play. But I'm like, dude, that makes the fucking atmosphere so much better. Because that was always one of my problems with the later zombie games, is like the map's so goddamn bright.
Mm-hmm.
And to where now it's like, with what they showed in the trailer, like it looks tightly packed in. It's dark as fuck. And it's like, man, can't wait. Because there's also the fact of just everything you listed off with all the perks. Thank fucking God I don't have to do a glitch to get them all again.
They just say, hey, you know what? If you got the points, you got the points. Go ahead and spend them, my guy.
Yeah, well, because it's the stupid thing, and I stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
The dumb thing always about with whenever they would do that is like at the end of the game you have nothing to spend your points on.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's basically once you're sitting here just farming up and everything, trying to get to as high a round as you can, there ain't nothing you can really do.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. To where it's like, hey, you know what, I like this one perk. Let's say you're not going to glitch. It's like, okay, I like this one perk. I can't buy anything then because I want, like, I don't want to lose the one that I have. But, like, for me, the one thing, because I'll be honest, Zombies and Me has kind of been... For World at War, I was really into zombie mode because it was new, it was fresh, it was something that we had not seen before. But then, as the games came out, I kind of fell off of zombies. I was the one that really was like, you know what, zombies ain't my thing anymore. Like you said, it just seems like the same game in a different location. To me, it was like, okay, the same old zombies. It's just like... survival of the fittest. You play with your friends. After you do that 2 or 3 times, you're like, okay, like what else can you do that's new? And the thing that I really like that they're adding, maybe because this love or this excitement for it comes from a game that I mentioned on yesterday's Game Pass or Games Live. Game Pass is Xbox. The Games Live yesterday is the Exfil. So for me, the exfil is interesting because, like they say, You can call in a helicopter to rescue you. But then I like the intrigue of dialing those zombies up to like 11, to where it's like zombie, like from what I see from that, zombies might be harder to kill, might be more of them that spawn, to where it's like, okay, give me a challenge, give me something, because there needs to be, for this zombies, it was like there needed to be something that was very different than what they had done before, because they couldn't just roll out the same old zombies that they've done X amount of times already up to this point.
Yeah, and a lot of the times and my main question I have left over from this,
Go ahead.
and this will be something, what perks are they bringing back?
Good
That's
point.
my thing, because they said that, like, oh, you can have an unlimited amount of perks. Like, are we seeing the age-old ones come back? Because if they get rid of if they decide to get rid of Juggernaut, I may have to scream something.
I don't
I may have
think
to
they're
get a
going to
little
get rid
upset.
of Juggernaut, so I don't think they're getting rid of the Juggernaut. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
I mean, to be fair, it was they have said before though that they don't like Juggernaut as a perk.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm just saying that because I would not get rid of Juggernaut. Unless it's
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't either.
unless you really think like, okay, Juggernaut makes it unfair to where it makes the mode so much more easier for the player. Like, you don't want to make it impossible for the player, but on my side, you also don't want to make it super like jokes easy. You want it to be some sort of a challenge, which is what zombies should be. It should be challenging, but it shouldn't be too hard to where you're like, fuck this mode, it's impossible.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, I may as well start the bandwagon of hashtag bring back Doctor Flopper. I think is what the perk was called. Bring it back. I want Doctor Flopper back.
Why? Like, fill me in on this, because this is something I was probably off the zombie train at this point.
Yeah, so in Black Ops 1, there was a perk named, I think it was like Dr. PhD Flopper or something like that.
Okay.
Or it was either PhD Flopper or Dr. Flopper or something like that. And it was whenever you dove or fell from a part of the map, it was you would take no fall damage. But it was also if you jumped from a high enough spot and landed, it would like cause an explosion around you that would kill the zombies. So basically, just later in the game, if you're just bored out of your fucking mind,
You
just start
dive.
dolphin dive. Yeah, just start diving at zombies.
Oh man, like,
That's why I want Flopper back.
But do you think they will bring that back, or do you?
No.
Realistically, is it like that was very
that's
cheap?
wishful thinking.
Because to me, that sounds like, oh, that is very cheap, and that might break the game. For me, though, the other part of this too, and maybe it's I'm excited about this now, and then when we actually start playing zombies, this all just goes out the window because I'm so focused on killing zombies. But I love how, like, basically the part I didn't read, this time around, zombie fans will wield Cold War era weapons to fend off a zombie invasion set during the 1980s, but the undead threat is still rooted in World War II. So, like, for me, I think it's cool that they're like, obviously they're going to make it tie into the Cold War in some way, but I think it's cool that they're kind of playing with the whole like Russian Soviet thing. We're in the 80s now, which I don't think we've ever been for zombies. And for me, the only other thing like I wonder how it'll work is when they brought up the gunsmith crafted, to where is it going to be that people have attachments on their weapons from the gunsmith in multiplayer that might make zombies too much. Like, that's the thing I focus on, is how will these things work in zombies, or will it make it too easy to where people get bored with it super fast?
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if it makes it too easy. The only thing that I'm worried about is that they start locking the Easter egg for maps behind a certain like difficulty level in there.
Okay.
Because don't get me wrong, dude.
So
like,
then
I
not
love
everyone can experience it.
Yeah, and obviously I'm not one of the people who are like, oh, play the hardest difficulty, or don't, coward. I'm not one of those people. Like
Yeah.
I've always said with zombies, some people do just want a casual experience of not doing the Easter eggs.
Yeah. Play whatever's
Which was
comfortable for you, basically.
yeah, which was always my biggest gripe with Black Ops 3 zombies is because to get Pack-a-Punch you had to do the Easter egg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you had to get like 1/4 of the way into the Easter egg to get the Pack-a-Punch, and I'm like, that's dumb.
Because really, it's like,
So
how many of those players were not going to go that extra step? And then that's a X amount of your game base that just is not using something that you developed for the game, where that's even a tricky conversation of, and I've had this conversation with Johnny before when we talked about like Cuphead and stuff, is should games be dumbed down, basically, where I think back to my Sega days, and maybe it was because I was a kid and I thought about games differently. But like when I played a Sega game, if I ran into a part and it was too hard and then I never beat the game, it was like, well, I guess I'm never beating that game. It was just like in my mind, it was like, okay, my skill level at this point in my life is not good enough, or I don't have the skills that I need yet to go ahead and beat this game. Because like I've gone back to games from my childhood and been like, wow, this seems a lot easier than I remember it being when I was a kid. Well, fucking big brain Ricky, fully developed brain now, Ricky. It's kind of a little easier than when you're a kid and stuff. But nowadays it seems like with something like an Easter egg, does it have to be so dumbed down to where it's like there's no challenge for the people that really want to dive into the game? You know what I'm saying? Like, should there be things that are just for those people to where it's like, hey, if you want to do it, go ahead. But if you're not one of those people, don't be mad at us then that you're not getting this part, whatever it is, Pack-a-Punch, anything, whatever Easter egg it might be to play this game, or else go do the challenge to go ahead and get it.
yeah, I think what they should probably do, and this is mostly just the way I thought about it, is like have the full Easter egg unlocked with the with the hardest difficulty of like, listen, this is the only time when you're gonna be able to do like the super convoluted of like, you need this specific weapon, this specific grenade that comes in the mystery box, this specific perk and all that. Like,
yeah,
I think that's where they need to start kind of separating that. Because like, for instance, I think it's in the earlier levels, you can even have like a disclaimer for like when people are like adjusting the difficulty or whatever, of where it'll say like, hey, you won't have the full Easter egg. Like, you may have like the first half.
Yeah. Because like I do agree with Dave, who jumped in Twitch chat really quick. He says there's got to be a balance of 48-step deep Easter eggs and still being able to play straightforward. I agree with that. I'm on that side to where it's like there are some games I'm going to dive into and I'm going to be like, for example, MLB The Show. I'm going to extents. Like when I got the Babe Ruth card, was everyone going to get that card to basically play? You had to beat every AL team in a 3-inning game. Then every NL team in a 3-inning game. Then basically play every division in a game, then each league in a game, and then a final MLB team just to get one card. It's really fucking good, and it's a really good first base card, but I bet you there are people that are like, no, fuck that, I'm never going to do it. Even more so because that final game is on Hall of Fame difficulty, and it's like, nah, I ain't fucking doing that. So, like, that's where it's like, I kind of agree with Dave, where it's like, you got to have a balance where it cannot be a perk like with Pack-a-Punch. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, where it can't be a perk to where it's like, wow, I really feel like I'm missing out. It's got to be balanced to where, yes, it's got to feel special for the people that went through to get that Easter egg, but it can't be, to me, so high of a reward that it turns off the people that are like, well, this developer XYZ cares more about their deep dive people than they do about the casual gamer, which that's an argument in itself.
Yeah, and I think it's always going to be that tough part of balancing it, because like for instance, I'm gonna use the main map that I know for like as like the actual example of it is
Yeah.
the base map that came with Black Ops 3 was fuck, I forgot what the actual name of the map is called.
I'll look it up for you.
I almost said like Shadow Deep or something stupid like that, but I don't remember exactly what it was called. And it was you had to basically do the first fourth of the DLC, or not the DLC, the Easter egg. And it's basically you have to find these parts of the stupid egg thing, activate the other part of the stupid egg. By the way, if you can't tell, I hate the idea of the
Shadows
fucking
of Evil?
Yeah, Shadows of Evil. It's literally you have to play that map for like 30 minutes to get Pack-a-Punch. Which doesn't sound that bad. That's if you have super good RNG and you find all the pieces where you need them to.
Yeah, you gotta have good RNG. Plus, it's like there are just some people that they'll play zombies, but it's the fun of killing the zombies. It's not necessarily like there are people that I knew that played like World at War. And yet again, this is when it first came out, where it's like, hey, I love playing with friends. I love killing some zombies. But like I know I'm a person that's not going to last for like an hour or 2 hours. Like I'm not going to be that person that lasts really fucking long because I'm just not that good at the game.
Yeah, and that's honestly why I even think, and the way to get around doing that is have a map that has an Easter egg and a map that doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and you can even make it to where it's the same map. Like it's just like things are different with it. Like I think there needs to be some way around it because, for instance, like there are people who want to just like casually do the Easter egg. Some maps you can't fucking do you can't casually do the Easter egg. I want to hear someone in my fucking life ever say they completed the Origins Easter egg casually.
Which is
that thing took me. That's the one where you have to go around and do all the staffs.
Oh, okay.
You have to wait for the giant robot to step its foot in a specific spot of the map so you can go inside of it.
Yeah.
Like that robot's slower than my fucking dead grandmother. To begin with.
Not Grandma Muffins. Can't be throwing shade at Grandma Muffins.
I mean, hey man, ain't no shade. That robot is an absolute unit. But like it's one of those things where like I think at this point like they're tying too much of the Easter egg into the game. And like and at that point it's like, okay. Because for instance, if you want to pack a punch gun, you have to do the Easter egg.
Yeah.
You have to go inside of the robot. Which is like the main part of the Easter egg.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's a little dumb.
Soapy, I've got a question for you. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and then just the stupid part is like it kept going with that.
Oh, okay.
Of like, like every map you need to do this much of the Easter egg to unlock this, and I'm like, that's kind of dumb. Because for instance, fuck, I think it was called. It's not Derice. I don't remember what the map was called.
Is it in Black Ops 3?
Black Ops 3. Yeah, it's Black Ops 3.
It is.
It's it's a German map.
Der Echten.
Yeah.
Because the maps are Nacht der Ototen, which is the one we're basically going back to, they said. Origins, Kino der Toten, Der Eisenrachten, Shadows of Evil, Revelations, Moon, and then Ascension.
Yeah. And with Der Eisendrache, it's the problem with that one is you have to once again do a good chunk of the Easter egg to just get the you have to do like a good chunk of it to get the Pack-a-Punch, but you also have to sit here and get the fucking the special weapon on that map to even get that. Which means you have to know how to assemble the bows and everything like that. Okay. And the bows are so goddamn complicated. Well, because it's like, okay, go to this side of the map. You have like 3 seconds to find these 3 fires, shoot them before the fucking timer restarts.
And I'm assuming that with most of these Easter eggs too, it's not something that's like, oh, we're just going to basically lay this out for you to where you can find it just walking through. It's like, no, I got to fucking look at IGN. I got to find a guide. I got to find out where to go. So you got to go through that work. I mean, I guess it's the same thing as back in the day before the internet. It was having the Nintendo Power out in front of you or the strategy guide out in front of you to figure out where these Easter eggs are. But like the last thing I did want to ask you about zombies, and this was based off of the conversation we had yesterday of you have a map that is your all-time favorite zombies map, and I wanted you to talk about it. I wanted you to talk about your favorite zombies map and why it's your favorite.
All right, so I mean, mine's not so much of a controversial take, but mine's a very divisive one because a lot of people have the argument of like, is it a good or bad map? And the main reason why is because there is a mechanic on there that I still fucking hate to this day, and I will say that from the bottom of my heart, this map
it's
does
a love
have,
hate. It's a love hate.
Yeah, and it's Moon. One, Moon is the only map, mind you, that you spawn in the room that has a pack-a-punch. And literally, you can get pack-a-punch before you ever before the game ever actually starts. But man, you gotta have some big brain on you to do that one.
Do you?
Because what they do is, so the way Moon starts is you start off in Area 51, and you were standing in front of the pack-a-punch, and you start hearing sirens go off.
Yeah.
And because the reason why you're hearing sirens go off is because basically the whole story with Moon's Easter egg is that you're nuking the Earth to kill the zombies. Because that's why in Black Ops 2 with Transit, that's why the map's like all covered in lava and shit.
It's like,
because
you
the
know
nukes
what?
basically fucked up the Earth.
The Earth is so far gone, let's just blow it up.
Yeah, that's basically what they go for.
That won't fuck up the moon or anything because, gravity and shit, and whatever, we'll just nuke it.
Yeah, but it's basically like you hear the alarm go off, and it's the longer you're there at Area 51, it's like points are really easy to come by, but it's also like more and more zombies. To where basically, I'm gonna use the term here. Obviously, the first part of the term is not a good thing. The rape train.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, rape training in Call of Duty. Not talking about. We're just gonna.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Yeah, basically, it's whenever you're running the train around, literally like 2 minutes into that train, like. It is basically, by the time you turn around, you are basically, like, at the ass end of that train.
Okay.
Like, there are a lot of zombies that spawn. Like, it's basically, you can... Yeah, I really do need to get a new term, Dave.
You do. You do need a new term for that. I'm just
that's
ignoring
what the community calls
Just
it.
Ignoring it. Could we call it the R train? Does that work? It kind of keeps its same je ne sais quoi, but it's not like, just so I don't want to say offensive.
Let's just say the train.
The train.
Yeah.
You know what train it is.
Yeah, you know the exact train.
The train.
But yeah, it's with that, it's basically like 2 minutes in, you're already basically experienced like what level 30 zombies are. Like they're super hard to kill.
Yeah.
They basically never want to die. And it's like by that point, you can get a pack-a-punch gun before you even start the game. To where when you teleport up to the moon, you are level 1 with a pack-a-punch gun.
Yeah.
And a perk.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're starting off a little bit ahead of the game, almost.
Yeah. And also, the Easter egg on that map is so goddamn easy. Except the second half. Fuck the second half. I hate that.
You're like, yeah, fuck this. But yeah, I can't wait for Call of Duty Cold War. I think the thing I'm excited for the most, and of course, in order to do this, Soapy's got to have it, Dave's got to have it, I've got to have it. I just want it, whether it's Warzone, whether it's zombies, whether it's just multiplayer. I think the thing I'm excited most for is like to play it with you guys, all in our natural elements. You on Xbox, myself on PlayStation, Dave with his old mouse and keyboard, shooting up some zombies or some people if we do Warzone. I think that's the thing I'm most excited for when it comes to the new Call of Duty game. But Soapy, we got to move on. The next thing we're talking about is something, Soaps, that you love to talk about. This is your favorite. This is like the bee's knees when it comes to Soapy Muffin. We got more epic Apple news. And I'm going to tell everyone, I did not put this on the list. Soapy put it on the list. And then I put it into the rotation. This is from PCGamer.com. Judge says Epic was not honest when it bypassed Apple's payment system in Fortnite. The legal dispute between Epic Games and Apple took another step forward yesterday with the hearing of Epic's request for an injunction against Apple's decision to remove Fortnite from the iOS App Store. A ruling on the request wasn't issued, but it doesn't sound like it was an especially good day for Epic. As reported by CNN, as PC Gamer fucked up on me, Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers was critical of Epic's actions leading up to the lawsuit, saying the company was not honest when it released the Fortnite update that enabled users to bypass Apple's payment system. The judge seemed to suggest that Epic's actions actually help justify Apple's defense to its App Store policies as a way to protect users from malicious software. You did something, you lied about it by omission, by not being forthcoming. That's the security issue. That's the security issue, she said. There are a lot of people in the public who consider you guys heroes for what you guys did, but it's still not honest. The judge was also not particularly persuaded by Epic's argument that forcing developers to use Apple's in-app payment system amounts to illegal tying, a form of bundling that requires customers who want to buy a particular product to also purchase something else. Even later on, there were tweets from CNN reporter Brian Fung, who basically said, this is seemingly a very different take than what the judge outlined in the last hearing, when she indicated that she is very familiar with the research literature and consumer switching costs and effective barriers to the competition. This is a brutal hearing for Epic. The judge is very skeptical. There's more into this, Soapy. We're going to get into it. But right now, what are your base thoughts? Epic versus Apple, the next update.
It almost seems like Epic kind of realizes that their platform they were using don't work no more.
Do they realize it, though? Do they?
I mean, you'd think by now, if their whole fucking platform of like, oh, it's unjust they're doing this, has now literally been shot down by a court.
Yeah.
By a judge saying, hey, it ain't illegal. They're allowed to do this. Like, I'm just saying, dude, they have zero legs to stand on now. Because now it's the only reason you got kicked off is because you broke the rule.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that a judge fucking finally came out and was like, listen, Epic, you need to shut the hell up. You're wrong.
Yeah, and like for me with this, it was the most interesting part is when she brought up like malicious software and just where she said protect users from malicious software, because to me, I never thought of it that way of like, oh, well, this was just something simple of like, hey, we changed this in the game to where you can go ahead and buy points directly through us and you don't have to use the App Store. But what if it wasn't that? What if there was a developer out there that was not completely honest? That was like, hey, we're going to have this app for this game, but then have something in there where it kind of seems like, hey, you're buying our in-game currency through us directly, but then we're able to take your information or something, or like basically use your phone and you're like, I'm not a computer guy. I'm just, hype fear right now. But like if a company with a mobile game wanted to be malicious, the door, like Epic showed, hey, the door is there. The door is there to put in a malicious thing into a game if someone wants to. Now, we all hope nobody would, and no one's saying Epic did that. Like, their thing wasn't malicious at all. It was just a, hey, we think you shouldn't be taking a cut from us. We want our money back. But it's interesting that the judge looked at it that way, that like, hey, somebody else could get through this little crack in the wall and kind of do some malicious shit that doesn't need to be going on.
Yeah, and it's almost like, and that, Epic wanted to kind of be like, not a martyr in the ways of what they probably want, but like, they are being a martyr. They are now going to have it that Apple's going to tighten up on their security now. So, thanks, Epic. We really appreciate it. I can't wait till fucking apps just stop working now, because they're going to find some stupid way to not work in the App Store anymore.
What? Because
but also, that'd be a damn shame I don't have an iPhone, so that don't affect me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I wasn't playing Fortnite on my phone. Like, if I'm gonna play a game like Fortnite, like Call of Duty, these games that have mobile versions, I'm a PlayStation guy. I play it right here on my PlayStation. Like, I don't know. To me, like playing Fortnite or whatever on my phone never appeased me. Like, I'm more of a guy that needs to sit down at my PlayStation and have that controller in my hand. I guess that's what cloud gaming is trying to do. But the other part of, because the judge had more to say on it, it says Judge Gonzalez Rogers said she doesn't see the in-app payments as a separate and distinct product. However, and if that opinion holds in the final ruling, it will exempt the system from antitrust regulations. She also rejected Epic's argument that the removal of Fortnite from the App Store has caused it harm because iOS players have plenty of other ways to get the game. Walled gardens have existed for decades, the judge said. Nintendo has had a walled garden. Sony has had a walled garden. Microsoft has had a walled garden. What Apple's doing is not much different. It's hard to ignore the economics of the industry, which is what you're asking me to do. CNN reporter Brian Fung then that went into everything with that tweet. And it kind of like, this makes me also think of something that, I mean, how do I want to put this? Where you're going in front of a judge, and I get, like, from the beginning, I've gotten where Epic is coming from. Epic is like, yo, bro, this is bullshit. We need to change this. Apple's like, don't come at me, bro. I'm just doing what the law says I can do. Eat shit or get shit on, whatever you want to put there. And Epic's like, yo, don't got to talk to me like that. I'll see you in court. That's where we're at right now, where I get where Epic is coming from. Is it technically shitty that Apple could take a cut of your money? Yeah, it is. Not going to lie. But you look at it and it's like, that's how the law's set up. That is how legislation is set up. I know she's not very popular right now. I was watching a clip of the I can't remember her name, the chick that Trump is nominating for the Supreme Court. You don't know her name, do you, Soapy?
Who?
The chick that Trump wants to make the new Supreme Court justice.
Oh.
Fuck, what's her name?
I know stuff about her. I don't know her name,
okay.
though.
Basically, it was her. And what she was saying is there was part where she said, when she was talking about judges, and she said the job of a judge is to basically, like, judges don't make laws. Judges look at the law and then go, okay, based on what the law is, what should the ruling be? And I almost think of that here, to where it's like Judge Gonzalez Rogers is a judge. Epic is asking the judge, yo, bro, or in this one, what would be the female version?
Broette.
Yo, broette, we want you to change this law. And she's like, yo, I can't do that. I'm a judge. The law is this. Apple ain't doing nothing wrong. Sony's done it. Microsoft has done it. Apple's doing it. You're shit out of luck here. Like, that's basically what she's doing. Like, I know Epic wants this to change, but maybe this is the wrong avenue to do that, because judges aren't the ones that make legislation. They're not the ones that make the rules. They look at the rules and then basically be like, hey, are you in the right or you're in the wrong?
Yeah, they enforce the rules.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Epic doesn't realize here. Like, it's basically, it's kind of like the whole thing with judge, jury, and executor. The judge is the judge.
Yeah.
It's they have the argument presented to them.
Mm-hmm.
They then, it's basically, but it's also something of where I think Epic, like, and once again, I don't fully disagree with Epic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the point I do have to state. I don't fully disagree with them. Like, is it shitty that Apple, who is not a gaming company, makes the third most revenue in gaming? Mm-hmm. Yes. Is it Apple's fault that everyone uses the App Store? No. Like, it's people need to realize that, like, yes, it is weird that a non-gaming company makes that much money,
Yeah.
but it'd be the same thing if Amazon had an app store, they'd
Mm-hmm.
make a lot. Google probably makes a fuck ton from their store.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make games. Like, the closest they got was Stadia, and Stadia's shit.
Yeah.
So they may as well not be in the gaming industry. Like, it's just, I don't understand where, like, at this point, if I was Epic, I would just drop the case.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be like, you know what? Nothing's going to change. And you can even say, like, obviously you don't have to sit there and, like, freak out and be like, oh, we're dropping out because, we weren't being treated fairly in the court of law. Don't do anything like that because you're just going to make yourself sound like a sore loser.
Mm-hmm. And this came out, let's say this was 6 days ago, the article. All this went down yesterday, I think. Yeah. Because the CNN tweet was from the 28th. This article was from yesterday. Before this came down, Tim Sweeney had the last tweet that he actually made was 6 days ago. And it says, let's math this. 500 reviewers times 40 hours a week, divided by 100,000 apps, 12 minutes of review time per app. So a developer spends thousands of hours creating an app and hundreds of hours updating it. Apple spends 12 minutes reviewing the update and takes 30%. And then he put apple.com/app store. And then he put a picture that says, every week over 500 dedicated experts around the world review over 1,000 apps. So that's where he's getting his math. He's like, okay, there's this many reviewers that they have. They spend this many hours a week doing it. He's taking the 100,000 from the Apple site itself. And it's like, it's back to what we said. I get what the fight is. It's just, you're going through the wrong avenue. And maybe does this spark because there are people on the side of Epic where when this came out, when this fight first started, I knew content creators. I seen it on YouTube where they were like, fuck it. I discontinued my Apple Arcade account because fuck Apple. I'm on the side of Epic. Like, there are people on that side. It's just what needs to happen is if you think that needs to change, how do you go ahead and make that change? Is it Epic starting a movement and going in a different venue of like, hey, we gotta take down the garden walls, to use Gonzalez Rogers' words that she used herself? Is it something where the people need to come up and have a voice to where it's like, yes, there is something here that can be disagreed with, but at the same time, it's just like the way you're going at it right now is not how you should be going at it, because I don't know, the way that an analogy that I can kind of think of is, I'm going to use a baseball analogy, okay? Let's say I hit the ball, I'm out at first, and my coach goes and yells at the third base ump instead of the first base ump. That's what they're doing. Like, you shouldn't be talking to who you're talking to. You're not going to win the lawsuit you are going into right now. And I agree with you, Soapy. Drop the lawsuit because you're not going to win. The judge basically just showed you, hey, this is how I'm going to rule. This is how the law is. This is what I'm going to base the law on. It'll be interesting to see. Like, I thought things were going to end right here. I thought this was going to be the kit and caboodle. Boom, it's all over. But I mean, as people say, like the article even states, like, oh, we'll have to see what's the next move? What happens next? To where it's like, this is not going to be, I say it every time, I'm a broken record. This is not going to be the last time we talk about Epic versus Apple on the show.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask if I could just say my final thought on it.
Go ahead. I was going to ask you anyways.
All right. Yeah, so I have said this before on the show, and this is the whole reason why this whole thing just pisses me off as much as it does.
Yeah.
It's basically, Epic is the pot calling the kettle black, because I don't think they seem to realize their launcher takes a percentage of money. They are doing the exact same thing of where someone updates their game for hundreds of hours.
Mm-hmm.
Epic gets a cut of that money. Epic is in no moral spot to bitch about how Apple is doing things
Mm-hmm.
because they do the exact same thing. This is my whole point. If Epic wants to make themselves seem like the good guy, take no cut on their launcher. Be the change they want to be, and then they'll realize very quickly, holy shit, this isn't sustainable because we're spending all this money to bring in these people to make games Epic Launcher exclusive, and we're not taking a single cut. Congratulations, your website's down in a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's people need to realize Epic is fighting a fight that needs to be talked about, but this is just shit that's going to happen in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
It's to be on someone's platform, they take a cut of your money. It is the same thing with everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you run a company and you are owned by a bigger company, they are going to take a cut of your profits because they need to make money off of it. I don't see why people don't realize this. Yes. Is it shitty that a developer does not get all of the money from their game? Yes. But once again, let me use Twitch for example. Twitch, you pay $5 for a sub, the streamer only gets $2.50.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch takes 50%. What, are you never going to sub to people anymore? There's no point.
Yeah. I mean, well, that one's a different argument because in that case, I feel like the streamer Twitch argument is not like Epic Apple because the streamer.
I know. I'm just making an example.
Yeah, in my view, it's like the streamer needs your money. Like not all. Like maybe Ninja can get by without having one less sub. But like the small guys, they need your money. They some of them rely on it almost. Where it's like I know they say like, oh, you should never rely on like Patreon. Like Patreon shouldn't be the only. It's always the don't put all your eggs in one basket. Where a sub for a lower creator is more important to them than your sub to Ninja right now, just because of how big Ninja is. Where like Epic is a huge company to where that's the only thing that's different in that sense. If you are on the side of like, oh man, why should I sub? Because half of it goes to Twitch.
Yeah, and it's just, I want people to actually start realizing every industry does this. This is not something specifically that Apple has done. Because even at that, let me then ask this, like, because then I'll just ask the simple question: why is everyone else allowed to do it but not Apple?
Because they're Apple. That's
Google,
what it seems like.
Yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong. I get it. Apple is one of the biggest corporations in the world.
Soapy,
you're not going to hear that argument.
Soapy's like, if you want to get on the fuck Apple train, I've already been there.
Yeah, dude, I'm basically the conductor of that train. Hell, I'm the fucking train itself.
Man, you and Johnny ride in the same train.
I mean, hey, dude, Johnny knows what he's talking about. But it's the fact of, I hate when people like, they're like, oh well, you know, Apple can't do it, but Epic can, Steam can, Microsoft can, Sony can. Fuck, when Amazon breaks into fucking game streaming and stuff like that, Amazon's gonna be able to do it. Like, I get it. Apple makes a metric fuck ton of money. No one is going to argue that.
Yeah.
But it's also, that's not a fair business practice that everyone's allowed to do it but Apple. I get it. Apple wouldn't miss as much of the money. Because, you know, obviously, like every year or so, they have the new iPhone come out. And there are people who buy a new iPhone that's $1,000 for like a slightly better camera.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're a clown. But... And it's the stupid shit like that of, if you're going to hold one company accountable, hold the rest of them accountable. Hold Steam accountable. Hold Microsoft, Sony, fucking Google, Android. Hold everyone accountable. Don't just be like, Apple bad. Apple take my money, Apple bad.
Apple always bad just because they're Apple. Yeah, I mean, this is, and the judge even said it. Apple's not the first one to do this. They're not the first one. They're not the last one. The only way to change this, change the legislation. Sound it out, Ricky. Legislation. That's what you got to change. And the judge ain't going to be able to change that. But Soapy, let's move on. Next thing we're talking about, a little, like, this is a little bigger than a Shorty But A Goodie, but it's going to kind of segue us into Shorty But A Goodie because it's not going to be as long as the other big three that we have today. But today, Insomniac Games had some updates for us about the Spider-Man Remastered. And let's just say, Soapy, some people not happy. So the game will feature the Spider-Man Remastered on PS5. The game will feature a few expected upgrades like better graphics, a higher frame rate, and a few new Spider-Man suits. It will also feature some unexpected changes, like the brand new face for Peter Parker. I saw this today, Soapy, and the way I saw it was I opened Twitter, and Greg Miller, who I've mentioned before, I follow him on Twitter, and he just put out a simple tweet like, hey, what do you guys think of this? And I looked at it and I went, why did they change? What, like, there was nothing, like, nobody hated the old Peter Parker. Like, this isn't just something to where it's like, oh, we touched up some things. Like, they are changing actors for the remastered. According to a new post on Sony's PlayStation blog, Peter Parker's facial model has been changed in the remastered version of the game from John Buniak from his face to Ben Jordan, who Ben Jordan is looking at his Instagram because Polygon had a link to his Instagram. He's basically a British model. He's a Next model, so that's in Britain. New York model, so he's also a New York model as well. And yeah, his entire Instagram is just modeling photos. So like, they're going more towards the younger look, obviously. The blog post explained that in order to bring out the best possible visuals for the remastered version of the game, the development team needed a better match for the facial capture done by Yuri Lowenthal. Possibility of the coincidence, this new Peter Parker also happens to look a bit more like the MCU's Peter, Tom Holland, than the previous actor did. There was an update to this. Insomniac creative director Brian Inchahar tweeted a statement about the recasting to provide fans with some more details on the studio's decision. Today, news about the new Peter Parker face model has surprised some of you. And we at Insomniac totally understand your reaction. Heck, it even took me a while to get used to Peter's new look. But as we discussed the franchise's future and moving to the PS5, it quickly became apparent that delivering even more believable looking characters made finding a better facial match for actor Yuri Lowenthal, who we all love as Peter, a necessity. We care as much about this character as your attachment to him. So please know we didn't make this decision/change lightly, as we did throughout the development of Marvel's Spider-Man. We'll continue to read your comments, listen, and always be looking for ways to improve every facet of the game. At the same time, I hope you can trust us that this decision is what we feel is best for the future of the franchise and our upcoming goals for this beloved Marvel character. Soapy, I'm just going to go ahead and spitball here. I'll take this one first. Since I'm the Spider-Man guy, I love this game. I don't know the behind-the-scenes thing. Maybe there was a contract dispute. Like, no, that wouldn't even happen. Fuck that. It's not a contract dispute. Because a remastered version, the person that was hired to be the model for that character, it already like, hey, we're just remastering an old game, so I don't think it would be that. I'm on the side of basically what the fuck are you doing? Like, you didn't need to with what they said of like, oh, we needed a better model to match the voice actor. Then why didn't you think that before you put out Marvel Spider-Man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. If that was the problem, then is it just, hey, the new technology I can understand if it made the old Peter Parker model, the old actor, if it just made him look like shit. I understand that. But like, are you buying that, Soapy? To where it's like, hey, we went ahead, made this change because this is what's going to look better on the PS5. Or is this more of what everyone else on Twitter is kind of seemingly to believe, and Polygon even pointed out, is that, oh, this is just the MCU lighting of the Marvel games, where Marvel or Disney or something stepped in and kind of was like, hey, yo, we kind of need you to, have a Peter Parker that looks closer to the one we have in the MCU.
I don't know if it's so much that part. I think it's more or less of they probably just wanted to redo them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're probably trying to find like a reason to say they did it.
Yeah.
Other than just saying like, oh, we may not have liked the way he looked before.
I would respect that more. I would respect that way more if they just came out and said, you know what, like, we didn't like it, we're changing it. I would have been like, okay, I respect that. Like, I respect you coming out and telling me that rather than trying to feed me bullshit.
I mean, hey, dude, that's all people got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we've been, expected to see all the time now. Is just we have to just wade our way through the bullshit to see if anything on the other side's actually worth it or not.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's just one of those things where, am I gonna be like, the other thing that people have brought up? I'm not gonna be mad, by the way, if this is like the model for Spider-Man 2. I'm still gonna play that game. It's not like a boycott Spider-Man because of this. It's just one of those things where I feel like, just be honest with us as gamers. Like, if it was something to where, hey, we didn't like it, go ahead and tell us. Because, like, to me, what I just read off to you guys didn't seem, to me, it didn't seem like the truth. It seemed like, hey, I'm trying to walk around this nicely without giving you reasons to what actually happened. For me, it's just one of the things that people have brought up on Twitter, that now this creates a problem. Like, I don't know if it creates a problem or people are just thinking it creates a problem, is now the Peter Parker that we're going to have in this game looks younger than the Miles Morales that we already have in the game. And that to me is like, that to me is just like, I don't even know how to explain that, of like, Peter is supposed to be so much like, they already were like, when I saw Miles in the game, I was like, okay, we're keeping Peter alive with Miles. Like, that's interesting. But at the same time, it's like, okay, they're trying to like push them a little bit closer in age, which was like, okay, this is different, but I can get by it. Now it's that Peter Parker is supposed to be so much older than Miles, looks younger than Miles. To me, it's like that might be a problem moving forward into a Spider-Man 2 if they don't even change it going into Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we're just gonna have to wait and see, because, like, for instance, like, we may just be seeing what they made the young model look like.
Yeah.
Like, there may be a way that, like, they make the model look older to where, like, they add features to it over, like, I don't want to say laugh lines and stuff like that, but, like, definitive features you normally see on old people, over, like, they have lines on their face. Like, that could be something they add to the model later down the line.
You're right. This could be a puddle situation.
Yeah, of where, we're just seeing, like, we're seeing it now, and we're judging it harshly. Then when we get the final product, it'll be like, oh, it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be.
Yeah. I just think it's because this game was so beloved, and fans had an attachment to it, to where, like, you change something like that, and it's just like, no, please don't change it. We don't want you to. But you're right. We're going to have to wait and see when it's on our PS5s. If you've got one pre-ordered, I still have not, because, nobody wants to put pre-orders up anymore. But that's just a first world problem for me. We're just going to have to wait and see what that is like. But Soapy, let's go into Shorty But A Goodie before our final topic. The first one, this is from VGC, Video Game Chronicles. Sony site suggests PS5 will support cross-gen chat, 100-player parties, and more. The source code of the PlayStation website reportedly makes reference to several unannounced PS5 features, including party chat support up to 100 players. According to Reddit and Rusera, the website also mentions the ability for party chat across console generations, while a wish list feature for the store. Here's the bullet points from what they are. I'm just going to read it. So, number 1, playing PS4 games on the PS5. Some functionalities available on PS4 might not be available. Number 2, this PS4 game isn't supported with your PS5's current system software. We're continuing to make more PS4 games playable on PS5. Update your PS5 and then try playing the game. The third one, this PS4 game isn't supported with your PS5's current system software. We're continuing to make more PS4 games playable. Did they just repeat the same one? They repeated the same one twice. So number 3, PS5 boost mode enabled. Number 4 is MS Grid PS5 controller trigger effect. Trigger effect required. There's one for vibration function acquired or required. There's if the console sharing and offline play setting is enabled for your PS5, players aged 18 plus who aren't PS Now subscribers will now be able to play PS Now games from the game shortcut icon displayed on the PS5 home screen, as well as in the PS Now app. Message and voice chat with friends across PS4, PS5, and PlayStation app. PlayStation Plus Cloud saves can be transferred manually to PS Now and vice versa using the saved data management functionality on PS5. The next one is your wish list isn't available on this website. You can find it on a PS5. Players can now share video clips, albums, artists, playlists, tracks on the console, and players can now set a name and image for party groups. Soapy, how big is this? Especially the ones of, if it is, you can have parties up to 100 people and even talk to people who, hey, haven't gotten the PS5 yet and are still on PS4.
Why the fuck would you want 100 people at parties?
Hey,
dude,
some people do, my guy.
Parties of 5 get fucking too loud. I don't want, like, dude, imagine, like, YouTubers and shit like that get fucking, like, okay, I'm gonna make an example here. So there's a YouTuber named Troy Dan.
Yeah.
And what he would do is, like, he would fucking, like, put little kids against each other in 2K, and just he'd be sitting in the party listening to them. One, I'm just saying, dude, little kids talk a lot more shit than they used to.
Could you imagine a full Call of Duty lounge with little kids?
Dude, that'd be fucking terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, I don't normally joke about this. I'd probably shoot myself before I even got anywhere close to that.
We don't want to do that, Soapy. We don't want that happening.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, a lot of those features, like, are kind of nice. Like, they're kind of stuff that, not that I'd be like, oh, I expect from next gen. But, like, it's cool features. It was a feature I wish that the Xbox One had with the 360, because I got my Xbox One a lot earlier than my friends did. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to turn my 360 on, talk to them on there, and then play my Xbox One.
Yeah, for me, this is something that I think for PlayStation people works out. When I first saw this article, and before I read it, I was like, holy shit, you're telling me I'm going to be able to, like, cross, like, I thought it was almost like a cross-gen chat to where Microsoft and PlayStation worked out, like, hey, you can talk to your Xbox friends on your PlayStation. Like, that's what I thought. And then I read it and I was like, oh, okay. So, like, for me, it's if one of my friends has a PS4, that's great because they don't need now a PS5 to talk to me on PlayStation. But, like, at the same time, like you said, I throw out, like, 100 party chats are dope, yo. But let's be honest, I don't even have 100 friends in order to do that with. So I won't be using the 100 member party chats. The last thing, Soapy, for Shorty But A Goodie, you put this on the list, so we're going to talk about it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate next DLC character will be revealed tomorrow, Soapy. So tomorrow, October 1st, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, that means 10 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, we will know a new character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And there was a brief message. So the new fighter reveal will be followed by a brief message from the Ultimate director, Masahiro Sakurai. And Soapy, I'm just going to ask you, because for me, I have no idea who this could be. Do you have an idea or a guess of who the next fighter could be for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate?
I think it's going to be a Monster Hunter character.
Okay.
they recently announced that Monster Hunter games are starting to come to Switch now.
Good point.
I saw one person say Doom guy, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'd shit myself if Doom was in fucking Smash. And it's just because like everyone else in that game is, they're like, oh, kind of kid friendly games. Obviously, I think it's Bayonetta is like the opposite.
Yeah.
Of that, like Bayonetta and Solid Snake are complete opposite, but like Doom guy kind of takes what they do bad and just fucking ramps it up to 11.
Yeah. So
because we literally in the Doom games you rip people's like hearts out.
So you're saying that for sure it's going to be, you think, someone from the Monster Hunter universe?
Yeah, I think what they'll do is just have it be one of the hunters, like just listed just as hunter.
Yeah.
And like the different costumes just would be what like some of the different characters in the game look like.
So I'm reading a article right now, and there are some. So this is from Inverse.com, and they have some predictions. Do you want to hear their 5 predictions?
Can I guess some of them?
Yes.
Steve from Minecraft.
Nope.
Okay, I know I've seen that one before. I know one's from Kirby. I think it's like
Yep.
I think it's either Bandana Waddle Dee, I think is what it is.
That's who it is. Bandana Waddle Dee.
Yep, there's that. I know people still want Waluigi. That ain't even fucking happening in our
Not
lifetime.
even on the list. So one is, I'll give you an easy one. One is from Zelda.
Okay, no, just list it off. I'm not gonna get it.
So the number 5 is Travis Touchdown from the stars seem to be aligning for No More Heroes protagonist Travis Touchdown to finally come to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that's number 1 they have on the list. The next one, you had it, Bandana Waddle Dee from Kirby Fighters 2. Number 3, surprised you didn't mention this one because it's your go-to Mario game.
My go-to Mario game.
The Mario game that you said you liked.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of Mario games I like. Mario Sunshine?
Paper Mario.
Oh.
The Paper Mario was on there. That could, like, Paper Mario could work because they just did the Mario's 35th anniversary. Number 2 is Breath of the Wild Zelda.
Oh,
but at the same time, it's like, do you want another, like, this would be actually like Zelda, not like Link from Zelda. Like, this is, they said we have 3 Links, so why not have 3 Zeldas? That's their argument for that one. And then the last one is Geno, Geno, and it says a man can dream. Geno from Super Mario RPG is one of the highly requested characters that would be a banjo-level surprise for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Officially, there is not much to go on, as Geno hasn't been deconfirmed like Sora or Goku. As it's Mario's 35th anniversary, it would make the most sense to add Geno at some point over the next 6 months, if at all. So those are the big ones that they have. I can't wait to see what it is, because guess what, Soapy? You and I are going to talk about it in some capacity tomorrow. So the last thing we'll move on to end the show. This comes from the one article I'm looking at is Video Game Chronicles. Cyberpunk 2077 Studios introduces mandatory crunch and says it won't delay the game again. While the company claimed last year that it operated a non-obligatory crunch policy, that is no longer the case. Bloomberg reports that Badowski emailed development staff on Monday to inform them that they are now required to complete a paid weekend shift in addition to their normal working week. I take it upon myself to receive the full backlash of the decision, he wrote. I know this is in direct opposition to what we've said about crunch. It's also in direct opposition to what I personally grew to believe a while back, that crunch should never be the answer, but we've extended all other possible means of navigating the situation. CD Projekt's chief financial officer, Piotrr? Piotr. How do you say that name? Because I'm fucking it up.
I'm gonna assume it's like Peoria or something like that. Just
I
call
think
him
it's
P-Man.
like Petrie. Said the main reason the company has implemented the new policy is to get rid of many bugs as possible in time for the highly anticipated game's release. Soapy, can I say my thoughts on this first?
Sure.
Fucking delay the game. Just delay the game, because here's my worry with it now. That you're like, oh shit, we made a promise that we wouldn't delay this game. Oh, we can't delay the game. Just delay the game. I'd rather it be delayed and be working rather than get it on the 19th and then be like, wow, this is a flaming pile of shit, and then not want to play. If you crunch, try to fix these bugs, and it doesn't work, and the game is bad, you are going to turn off fans more than if you just delay the game, maybe into 2021, and release it when it is actually working. Like, what? I get it. You missed the holiday season. You missed that money. But you don't want to turn off fans, because then guess what? They'll never buy a game from you again. Ah. When will devs get this? When will they understand this?
Never, dude. Money matters more.
No, I get that, but like, when will they understand more money now doesn't always mean more money later?
Yeah, dude. I have a very similar feeling about it. Over the second I saw it, that's why I even wrote next to the link I put in there, like, well, baby, we back to crunching.
We back to crunching. It's crunch time. I just you go with it, because I'll just rant for days.
No, it's just, it doesn't surprise me. Like, it's one of those things of CD Projekt Red is doing what they do best, man. They're crunching. They're out here. They understand that they're the company that's mostly known for crunching. You may as well just fucking go back to the well, you know.
I just
like it sucks for the employees. Like, I don't want to. Like, it's just one of those things of. This is why I hate when there's confirmed release dates for games, because then that encourages crunch.
It's not even the confirmed release date. It's the fact that he said we're not going to delay the game. When they said that, Soapy, I said, well, we'll have to wait and see. Like, I don't take it with a grain of salt, because guess what? They might delay it again. No, but instead they're like, no, we're going to double down on my stupid statement to say we're not going to delay the game rather than just delaying the game.
Yeah, and this is going to be an experience. Like, dude, I don't want Cyberpunk to flop. I really don't, because I've been hyped as fuck for this game.
Do you think it runs smoothly on launch day? I'll even ask that.
Fuck no.
Do you think it's that, like, because what I'm thinking is it's going to be a complete shit show. People are going to say, fuck this game. They're going to lose user base right away, because guess what? There are a ton of other games coming out that same date. You are just after the releases of both the Series X and the PlayStation 5. There are more next-gen games coming out along with that, to where players are going to be like, nope, fuck this game. I will play something else. And you might get some of those back if you fix the bugs. But guess what? There will be a section of that base that you do not get back. Some might not even come back to Cyberpunk 2077. There's a good chunk of them that might not even come back to when you release another game. Like, look at Destiny. For me, there was one. I played Destiny 1. I said, nope, fuck this. I ain't buying it. And until my friend Sean... not Anderson, my other friend Sean, kind of was like, yeah, yo, me and your cousin, who I'm dating, we play it all the time. And I was like, okay, fuck it. I'll buy it because you guys play it and I can play with you guys. Biggest mistake of my life. I fell for that shit again because it was the exact same thing that they did the first time. That's why I feel like this is not going to be a good decision for Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to be looking at this in hindsight going, man, they should have just delayed the game. Because guess what? Delay it. Do what Deathloop did. Do what Deathloop did. And Dave, I'm not saying Destiny 2 wasn't a good game, but it was the same problem I had with the first one of like when I got like... I even got into it. I guess it was even though me waiting. I didn't get into it late enough to where I'm like, oh, that's the game. Like, that's it. Anthem, same thing. Anthem, also a game that it was, hey, this is highly released. Maybe that's more of a better example. It was so hyped. There were bugs with it. I bought it, played it, and I was like, nope, fuck this. So like with Cyberpunk 2077, just hearing this, I'm going to be honest, unless Call of Duty flops, unless Valhalla flops, unless I'm not having fun with Godfall or World of Warcraft Shadowlands, said it right that time. In my head, I thought Shadow Legends, but out of my mouth, I said Shadowlands. I'm proud of myself for that one. But I feel like there's going to be enough games to where I might go, you know what? I'm not going to buy Cyberpunk the first weekend it comes out. I'll wait to see what people say about it that first weekend.
Yeah, and my whole thing is, the only reason I don't share the exact same sentiment with you is because Witcher 3 also had a really shaky launch.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing is, like, I don't know if it's just I have a lot of patience with gaming, but, like, for instance, it's Witcher 3 had a really bad launch. And
which
that
is also CD Projekt Red, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, because Witcher was the infamous one for crunching, because they crunched for more than just a month.
Okay.
They crunched for like 3 months straight.
Okay.
And with that, like, it was a shaky launch because obviously with crunching, you know, like, you're not being like super detailed with everything. You know, you're kind of just going like just over it quickly, get as many of the bugs out as you can. But with this, it's like I think a lot of people are also, and I don't want to. This is more of a argument for like a later day of like we set expectations insanely high for new games. To where obviously, you know, there's a absolute metric fuck ton of hype behind Cyberpunk.
It's been hyped for 2 years, man. I remember Dave, I, and Mark talking about the Cyberpunk 2077 like trailer or extended gameplay or extended whatever that they put out when we used to do Too Old a Game in 2018.
Yeah, and my whole thing is like, obviously, I'm not expecting a perfect launch because I'm gonna be honest. How many games have a perfect launch anymore?
I mean, you got a point there, but like, they just like, how many of those games that don't have a perfect launch experience so many bugs to where they have to crunch nearly just over a month and a half before your release?
Yeah, and obviously, like, that is a huge concern. Once again, like, this is just what CD Projekt Red does. Like, obviously, crunching is really shit. Like, no one's gonna defend it because we all know crunching is shit. It's just, it just kind of happens. Obviously, hopefully, we live in a world one day where crunch doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, or that game companies are like, hey, you know what? We might lose a little bit of what?
I said companies need to get to the point where they're not afraid to delay games.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say where it's like. Like in this case, we might lose money from the holiday season, but guess what? If we release in even Q1, Q2, like I said, like Deathloop is doing. Deathloop said, no, we're fucking going to come out Q2 because we want to give you the best game that we know this could be. Don't be afraid to delay. Delay is not like, yes, there will be fans that are a little bit upset that they don't get to play this game as soon as they would have. But when they finally get their hands on it, they will be like, oh my God, the wait was worth it. And companies need to realize that. They need to realize that rather than say, hey, let's kill our employees and make them work themselves into an early grave so we can get this game out in time. Like, yeah, it's just one of those things where I hope it ends soon. And like, I'm a little less excited for Cyberpunk than I was coming into today and coming into reading this news story. But Soapy, before we wrap anything else, any final thoughts that you think you have not said about crunch and Cyberpunk?
No, I think I got it all in.
But that is going to do it for MVP Games Live then. Thank you guys for checking us out today. Let us know what you guys think about everything. Make sure to, yet again, join the Discord link down below in the description or !Discord into Twitch chat. You can support us at patreon.com/MVPvids, but you can also support us by throwing us a sub at Twitch as well. We're live on Twitch every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids, but we're also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment. That's going to do it for Soapy and I. We will be back tomorrow, Thursday, for another jam-packed show of gaming news and gaming topics. For the Twitch folks, Dave and I are coming up next for MVP Sports Live. That's going to do it for us today. And as always, have a good day, everybody.